6 months around 3.
Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another episode of P.I.P, People in Property, with myself, Adil Niazi, at the hosting office of Key Property Consultants. Today I have Jake and Chris with me from Smart Choice Investments. Now I actually met Chris in 2015 when he was sort of, I think, first coming into the industry, and I took him on at the corporate estate agency where I used to work as a trainee. I sort of saw a lot of myself in him. He was ambitious, young, driven, focused. He had a sort of entrepreneurial spark about him, which I sort of liked, hence the reason I took him on. If I knew that he would only be with us for a short spell, I probably wouldn't have made the decision. But the reasons why he sort of came on board is very clear now. He wanted his own path, wanted to learn, and let them tell them a bit about themselves now. Chris, over to you.
Yeah, so as Adil mentioned, so I was working with him in 2015. I originally was a training negotiator somewhere else with another corporate estate agent, and it was my first experience in property. I wasn't really, I think I was a bit out of my depth at that time. And then I met Adil, it was local to where I lived, and I started as a trainee administrator. To be fair, and I really enjoyed that side of the role. And to be fair, now this is my second property business, and Jake, my business partner, will tell you, like, anything to do with the administration side of things, like, that's all me. So it turns out the experience that I had there
And the training
is obviously what really helps, because that's sort of my niche when it comes to properties now. I mainly deal with like all the administration parts of things, and my business partner will be the one that deals with all the sales. But as Adil mentioned, so that we've got our own property company, me and Jake, called Smart Choice Investments. We are a property sourcing company. We have also opened up different divisions over the last 3 years. We now have a short let corporate stay division, which myself and Jake also run, mainly around the seasides of seasides on the coast of England. And we also now deal with social housing as well. So we deal with like the Home Office and social housing in blocks of flats and things like that as well. And recently now we've just managed to make a few new connections in the sales department. So now we're now opening up a sales division in terms of being for developers and purchasers to actually buy development deals as well. So yeah,
sounds like you're growing from strength to strength. So Smart Choice Investments obviously initially started as a sourcing company, middleman in bits and pieces, which you still do, brings in your bread and butter, branching out, opening more divisions, doing the sales stuff as well, which is good. Longer term, but bigger money, and the short let stuff as well, which is really good. So diversifying portfolio, which sort of comes down to a main factor when in property, really, which a lot of people do. So Chris, sounds like you're sort of like back end side of things. So are you sort of more front end, Jake?
100%, yeah. So I've always been very salesy. I had no property experience when I started Smart Choice, not one whatsoever. So obviously Chris had done worked in estate agencies. He'd also set up an online estate agency as well. But Smart Choice was the first site of property I'd ever done. So things went very well at the start, to be fair. We really got a name for ourselves sourcing HMOs and flats and stuff like that. So that's kind of been our bread and butter, and still is. We got a massive portfolio database of landlords and agents that give us stuff for company let, brilliant. We then middleman and pass on to our clients.
Sounds like you're starting to take on some yourself as well now, by the sound of things.
Yeah, exactly. So now over the years, we've sourced anything from a studio to a 1-bed flat to even a block of 12 flats. We've done family homes. We've done a lot.
I remember actually we went for a viewing with yourselves to that one that was quite far away, but it was like a block of like 50 or 60 flats.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact location.
Was it Slough?
Slough. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, in Slough. That's it. So when we went in there, and unfortunately there was a little bit of underhand dealings with that specific developer, so we couldn't get a deal out of it. But we was close. But you know, that one didn't work out. But there's always more deals to be done.
On block deals, and that is, again, we have short term, so we complete on like HMOs and 1-bed flats, 2-bed flats weekly. And since then we've completed on block deals, and now we have a lot of block deals that we're currently working on. And obviously, as you said, they take a bit longer to work on, but the sourcing fees can range into the 5 figures, so they're very good. And in that time as well, we've also started to take on our own Airbnb.
Awesome. So with the sourcing side of things, because I know there's different companies that do it differently. From what I understand, you can have a flat sourcing fee where you charge them sort of a chunk, and they pay you on completion, or you have the other option where I think you can build a cash flow option into it where you sort of work yourself into the deal.
You've got, but again, so that's another thing we've mastered over the years. So we've got a healthy cash flow.
Brilliant.
That allows us to. We got our first office. We made our first app, our first website. We've got of our compliance and stuff. That's more than covered.
That's important stuff. That.
So we've got monthly cash flow from sourcing.
Brilliant.
And then we also have our lump sums that come in from us.
Fabulous. And that's what enables you to go and do your next ventures that you've been doing, like your shortlets and stuff, because you've got the upfront cash, you can pump it in, and the cash flow to sort of keep you going. What would you say sort of pushed you into this? Because you mentioned earlier, Jake, that you wasn't in property, you didn't know anything about property. What was you doing before?
I was doing car sales, just general business to business, like telesales.
Okay.
Patch of network marketing as well. So all very salesy jobs. That's all I've ever.
So basically, sales was what you've always wanted to do, but you were just looking for your sort of your market as such.
For what to sell.
Yeah. That's good. You're selling away in a property, which is really good.
Yeah.
Then how did you guys meet?
We met through network marketing.
It was 8-9 years ago.
Was it a property event or just a standard?
No, it was. I think I briefly told you about when we was doing the bills for households.
Okay.
Like we used to be able to.
Oh yes, FLN, something like that, or something. Yeah.
So we used to do like the network marketing was basically the products we were selling was like household bills.
Okay.
So that's how we actually met through one of the conventions, and then
and then figured out your own business model, figured out your little niche.
Yeah. Well,
forward 5-6 years later.
Yeah. Because to be fair, we met and then we had a bit of competition because we was in the same team, but wasn't in the same team. So it was like every month we was competing. There's like 1 month I would be like the top guy for it, and the next month is him. So then that mutual respect sort of came from that.
Because you could see they're both hungry, both driven, wanted wanted more.
Yeah, exactly. So then a friendship came out of that, and then to be fair, a lot of failed ideas came from that. We started to do, like we said, car sales. We went
designer,
raffle,
everything.
designer.
What was that?
We was like trying to raffle designer, right?
Okay. Yeah, I've seen the raffles popping up.
Chance to know.
Buying, selling cars, buying and selling used cars on eBay, reselling, going to Poundland, buying stuff
Gary
and
Vee
then selling
stuff.
it.
When he goes to like the book sales and buy stuff, but this you got Poundland and you check online on Amazon and stuff.
Proper Del Boy, yes.
Okay. But you're settled now. You feel like this is the market. This is your niche. This is what you're sort of heading up. Yeah.
And I think one of our failures back in the day was we try something, chance and on maybe for 6 months to a year, didn't see the results, then we do something else. But then what we're doing, we're just restarting.
Constant
We're 3 years deep now, and finally found something that we're gonna.
If you've sort of got your foundations firmly in the ground now, haven't you? Smart Choice Investments is on the map. You're obviously branching out. You're 3 different divisions. You're improving and you're still investing with yourselves. Because I think that's how initially you sort of got to this level, isn't it? Like network marketing, but investing in yourself to go and learn something. Even when you like getting the job when you was with us, you're investing. You're learning. And you yourself as well, Jack. You tried different things. You're learning on the job as such. Question for you both: did you both go to university or study or anything?
No, I mean, I had a spell at university. So I finished school, went to...
So at GCSE level, A level?
Finished school at GCSE level.
Yeah.
Then I was playing football. So I was at Dover for 1 year. Then I was at Bromley FC for another year. But then you get your education within that period.
Okay. So that college level education?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I took a gap year because I didn't want to go to uni. I weren't really doing much. I was just in between like just different jobs.
Okay.
Then I decided, because I didn't know what I went to, I went to uni. Dropped out after like 4 or 5 months
because of the academic side. Was I
never really wanted to go there. Anyways, I did it for what I wanted to do. Like I always knew I wanted to be successful. I always knew like how I wanted to do it, and for my path, I didn't necessarily need a degree to do that.
Okay.
So I just never really invested in it. So I was going there and I weren't really invested in the coursework.
So you felt like it was wasting time, basically. Yeah, it makes sense that you leave and you hit the ground running, and it goes to show you what success is. Show me for yourself where you've got to now. So how about yourself?
Exactly the same with me. I didn't go university. I wouldn't have football. I was at knee injury. I'm plugging them now, but I was at AFC Wimbledon. So I was there from when I was like 15 to when I was 18. So I was in the youth set up there. So we had a college set up that we had to do, but ours wasn't. It was just mainly sport only study. So 2 or 3 days a week. But didn't college was never of interest to me. As I was growing up, it was just sport, and then as I've left school, it was more, when football didn't work, it was just straight sales. So everything happens for a reason. Like we said, the spell in network marketing give us the knowledge and the sales experience now to deal with stuff,
Deal with people, making calls, rejections. You get a lot of them, isn't it?
100%. It built our armor, man. 100%. The 3 or 4 years that we spent doing network marketing, it's built us now to be businessmen and salesmen.
So along the journey, what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've had as such to sort of that's brought you to where you are today?
I've got one. I know your one's gonna be different to my one.
Good question. I can't even go on.
My was cash flow. Because when I started, I was all about.
So he wanted lump sums from the start. So when we first started, he wanted lump sums and I wanted cash flow.
Okay.
And then it was like a kind of a.
So you was thinking about now, and you was thinking
now,
about.
I was thinking about now, 3 years from now.
Yeah,
we're sat now, but so we've built a cash flow, but it's not what it would have been if we'd done it from the get go.
So because we were saying on the model was like, okay, we're gonna go with a cash flow model, or we're gonna go with a lump sum model. I was just eager. I just wanted the lumps.
You wanted the pound notes. You were seeing the pound notes. You were like, yeah,
I wanted that because I didn't like the job I was doing at the time. I've always been used to having like self-employment roles or things like that. So I never really had too much experience like in an employment role. So I just wanted to get out of that role as soon as possible. So I thought, okay, well, if we know the money in sourcing. I thought if we could do even 2 sales a month, I could just do that, the 2, 3 sales a month.
Yeah.
Then
so basically, subsidize a lifestyle for now.
Whereas now, we've comfortably, I've probably done a lot more, but we've comfortably done over 100 property deals. If not brilliant, more than 150. But if we just maybe commissioned maybe £200 on every property.
I kept talking to you about this. I kept trying to instill this into you.
You said about you had a property. I was, I think, how much was it? Like a pound or something? £8.
I remember that one conversation stuck with me, and that's kind of what I said. Like I think you said you was making like, if you don't mind me,
it was
one of the properties was like £8.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, like,
and that was at the very beginning because we needed the stock because we knew, all right, it might only be £8, but this person might have 2-3 other property.
But I got it. I understood it from the get-go, and I remembered when we done our first deal where we took on cash flow, it was £200 a month, and I remember 4 or 5 months down the line, we sent in the invoice for £200. I was like, Chris, do you not prefer this? Like, we done this deal 6 months ago,
and it's still getting paid on it.
I'm still getting paid on it now. And obviously, when we work out deals, like we'll charge £2,500 fee up front.
Yeah.
But let's say we was to charge someone £100 a month, and it's a 5-year contract.
You're making more money.
60 months, $6,000. So we've over doubled,
increased your turnover,
increased turnover income. And so imagine if we just done £200 a unit on them 100 properties, we'd be out of $20,000.
But now you can see that in hindsight. Now you know you need a bit of both because you need the cash flow to keep you going, to pay your bills and everything, pay your wages and stuff, and maybe pay for your car or whatever. But you want that cash lump sum injections
to invest.
Exactly. Have you guys managed to jump on the ladder yet yourselves, or are you still in the pipeline of sorting that?
Not purchased, but obviously we've got
your rent to rents. Yeah. So do you see yourselves buying properties, or you want to stick to rent to rent? Do you feel like
the game overall is ownership? That's the end goal. But we know to get to ownership, you have to have, like you say, everything has to be sorted out financially, like cash flow and everything like that. So for us, it's mainly building our cash flow pot now to a point where it literally covers absolutely everything, where there's absolutely no worries at all for most of us.
You have to get up and do another deal to pay for anything. Literally, you don't have to open your door, your money's rolling, it's being paid for the business.
Then at that point, then we can then say, okay, cool, now the lump sums we have coming in, we don't need it. So we can really now put this towards a deposit and stuff like that, and then go into ownership. So that is always the end goal, but we know, like we say, it's a journey to get there.
100%, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
If you find that you have your little ups and downs every now and again, you sit down and get it process and
property, well, man to man. But we've had 2, I'd say, in the 3 years, because at Charlotte's, we remember them. Like it doesn't happen often, but we might say 2 because.
But if you don't get it off your chest and talk to each other about it, that will be niggling in your mind, dragging on, and that, you know what that's going to do? Affect your business.
100%.
Exactly. It's nails on the head. Hit the nail on the head. So I want to now ask you a question from a perspective for our audience, for people that haven't gone to college, haven't gone to university, might have dropped out, don't have any qualifications. what would be the best way for our viewers to get into sourcing? Let's say they don't have any knowledge and they want to start learning about sourcing. What would you guys recommend to them to do?
Come and work with us.
That's everything.
But if you're looking for apprentices, then what? Smart Choice Investments, guys. You heard it here first.
What we've done is just simply, it sounds so simple, just went on YouTube, just watched a few property people online, went to a few one-day courses that didn't cost anything, they were free.
Okay.
Just picked up our knowledge from there, and it's so cliche, but the best way you can learn is by doing it. Just we learn on the job. Like, there's only so much you can learn sitting down behind. Like, it's when you make the first call to the estate agency, it's when you go and meet the landlord for the first time, it's when you send your first company let agreement, it's when you send your first offer, when you do the deal and you send your first invoice, and you want to hope you get paid for it. You just spend 2 months doing so. Obviously, the first few steps is YouTube, free courses and stuff like that. But
So basically, self-educate first, especially if you don't have any funds, and then maybe go online or go to physical in-person things.
and then also another thing that you could do as well is reach out and connect to people that are doing what you want to do. So reach out as well. So there's a lot of sources out there. Reach out to them, see if you can shadow them for a week or two, see if you can come down to the office, because most people do.
Because we had someone that started with us, he messaged both of us on LinkedIn. And then I responded back to him on LinkedIn, and he just he was self-learning sourcing, but he wasn't getting any success. So then I said, well, why don't you come source for us? We'll teach you, we'll give you access to our database. Took him a while, took him about maybe 3-4 months before he done his first deal. And then after that, literally month after month, he was constantly selling to the point, to the point where he was in a position to buy his first car. He bought his car. They was able to start going to viewing.
How did that make you guys feel, though?
No,
you gave him the opportunity.
I felt like $1 million boss.
Yeah.
I really felt like a boss when he done
Young boy, Croydon based like me. It was good.
Helping others is a different kind of feeling, really, isn't it? And especially when you're helping them get into an industry that they really want to get into, but then they're helping you build your brand a little bit in your business as well, because they're getting the deals through.
I am very fussy with who represents my company as a young guy, yeah. But so we've had a few people come in that have done really well, and we've had a few people that have only been in for a month or two, done one deal, then got caught eyes with something else. But it's part and parcel.
Yeah.
There's this one individual stuck with us for the last couple of years.
Is he still with you now?
Yeah.
Really, in that time he's popped to university, so he's been able to do it reasonably.
So it's worked around his lifestyle as such, and he's been earning. So building some knowledge in an industry that he wants to do, building some cash flow for whatever future investments he wants to do, and keeping him going, really. One question for you guys as well is, you might already have this idea, or you might have thought about it and thought, that's not for us. Would you ever think of teaching sourcing, so having another arm of your business and starting a thing where you bring people on board and teach them as create your own university type thing as such?
Another thing where we've been at two separate answers, really.
Yeah, so we've had spells where, because we got taught some of our knowledge, and then we got invited back to be like sort of coaches for their school.
Okay.
And that obviously gave us the experience, because we had a lot of feedback, and a lot of people was like, oh my God, like, I've watched your online course, or I attended this course and you lot were the trainers and we loved it. And then I was saying, like, we have enough knowledge and enough experience to actually be able to teach people how to do sourcing and implement ourselves and create that other armor. But for us, I feel like now we're on the same page, where I feel like we just want to make sure we are completely exactly where we want to be before then start teaching other people.
I think we could comfortably set up a coaching business right now. We have the knowledge and the experience, and I think Chris wanted to set up pretty early into the business, because he could see that we was doing deals, but it was quite early on, and you can make good money from the coaching training side of things as well. I was like, let's leave it a couple more years. It's really nice. Make our mark.
Solidify yourselves in your company, yeah. Which
now
makes
we can
sense.
comfortably do it, and we've done it for other people. We've just charged like a day rate for ourselves and stuff.
I used to do that when I was still at Countrywide myself, because I'd bought my first place. I think it was 2008 or something like that. And somebody was doing courses teaching people how to be a negotiator. And they just paid me a day rate, invited me round, and it was pretty good and fun. And because I was quite young, and there's people, everyone in that room was older than me, and they was just, blown away by the fact that I was in the industry, I was young, I'd just bought my first place, and they wanted to be my shoes as such. So they sort of aspired to be like that. So definitely something that is a good thing that you can potentially do. But if it's going to affect your main income and your bread and butter, then there's no point of trying to build something else when you're still laying the bricks of your current place and your roof's not on yet. So get the roof on, and then that thing can always happen because you're still building knowledge, you're still learning, and you don't want to start it and fail it and then be known for the people that failed at the online academy and they're still doing the sourcing. So yeah. What would you say is next for you guys? I know you said you've got a few things going on in the pipeline, and you know you've got different roles, a bit of sales and stuff. What direction would you see Smart Choice Investments going in?
So for me, the two things this year that we both agreed, and Chris will probably add to it as well, that we really wanted to knuckle down and master was, we rent out blocks of flats as well. So we take on block deals.
So as in, sorry, you take them on yourselves, or you
Source.
All right, so you source them, and then. So, for example, if I was looking for a block now, I'd come to you and be like, I need a block of flats.
Yeah. So we
need to do a deal then, guys, but I'm looking for a block.
We've got quite a lot.
We had asking price offer today.
Brilliant.
On a block of flats in Liverpool. So again, our clients can take nationwide. So we really wanted to knuckle down and really master connecting to developers, getting really good blocks direct to the developer as well, because over the last 2 years we've been let down on a lot of blocks through chains of sourcing.
I think we had one where we was trying to do some deals on with let's not drop any names actually, but yeah, cat food agent. Yeah.
So we really wanted to master getting direct to the developer. We've got the clients that will take it. They've got over 3,500 properties. They will take the units off the developers, pay the developers their rent and pay us our fee. So we really wanted to knuckle that, because that's something we can comfortably do with your eyes closed. 6 figures profit just in that alone, easily off of 2 or 3 deals.
Brilliant.
So we really wanted to master that, and then because that's the lump sum cash injections, and then we really wanted to master the service accommodation model for ourselves. Take on more units.
With the service accommodation, I wanted to get to a point where we have seasonals. So we have some locations where it's good for winter, some location where it's good for summer. Then you have your prime location, which is like all round. And then I'm not sure, you probably feel the same, but I really wanted to take it abroad. Really, really want to take it abroad, because I feel like that model works so much abroad.
Well, no, we've got stuff that we're selling in Dubai at the moment, and stuff that's going on. We've got stuff in Cyprus as well. So, but good for hot countries, man. Don't go to the cold places.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Here it's cold enough.
Yeah.
But no, touching on the Airbnb stuff. So you also are by the coast at the moment. How are you finding it going?
And amazing.
Yeah,
so we actually got a
occupancy rate.
So it was 100%.
Brilliant.
So
that's really good.
December was 100%.
December, I would assume it because of the Christmas festive period and people coming away and stuff like that.
I suppose we could disclose like figures.
Yeah, go for it.
So
we're comfortable.
We set it up in
So we got it in.
Is this
June.
the 4-bed place that you
got?
4-bed.
We got it in June. We done a refurb, and then it was ready.
It needed over 30 grand spent on it.
And then it went live in November. Start of November.
December we had 100% occupancy. Was really good. We had like 6 grand coming.
Brilliant.
To be fair, November was 100% occupancy from the point we started it. We just didn't start at the start of November. We started
like midway through,
all the way through. When we launched it, was
occupied.
Occupied all the way through.
The rent, the shows rent.
So right, sort of thing. Yeah, of course.
So the rent's like £1,500, and we bring in 6 grand.
So just so you know, guys, the rent is what they've paid to the landlord. So they will be paying £1,500 per calendar month to the landlord. These guys will be responsible for the utilities. Yeah, so they'll need to do Wi-Fi, gas, electric, water, council tax, and any other extras and add-ons. Linens, you do linens as well, yeah. So linens is basically like bed sheets, duvets. Do you towels?
Running a little
everything. It's like a mini sort of hotel. So that's what it is. And you said so 1,500 was what they pay, and your income was.
We'll say 500 quid, and also bring it up to about 2 grand, just over 2 grand. And in December we bring in just under 6.
So guys, we're looking at £4,000 profit from one property that's not owned. So these guys have rented this. Just fathom this, guys. They paid a month's deposit. 5 weeks.
No,
5 weeks
deposit.
No deposit, because
we've got no deposit.
Well, there we go. So because they've taken on the refurb costs and the refurb project, they haven't paid any deposit because the place was run down. They've had to invest into the refurb. Did you pay rent up front?
6 months rent free. We managed to get.
Guys, they wrangled a phenomenal deal. So there's no rent to be paid for 6 months. So that £1,500 is staying in their pocket. So 2 months is 3 grand, 4 months is 6 grand, so 9 grand they've saved. Yeah. So if they've made £6,000 in 1 month, all of that goes minus the £500 for bills. That's £5,500 a month. Very, very good profit margins. So you'll have your money back within 6 months if you carry on at that rate. Yeah.
And we just got 100% occupancy for April. So they've just got a booking yesterday from the 31st of March until literally the 11th of April.
That's brilliant. Those big bookings are the one.
That's the
So less cleaning that needs to be done as well.
Just one, exactly.
Because otherwise, when you get the short bookings, like we've got one in Grove Park, 1 bed that we did and we converted into a 2-bed. That one is roughly 85% occupancy rate. We get a lot of last minute bookings. So like 1 day or 2 day though. So for us, then that puts our expenses high because we've got to get the cleaners in there constantly, changing the linens, washing the dishes, whatever needs to be done, hoovering, dusting, whatever needs to be done. But your one is a very good model, very, very good model. And
the 31st of March till the 29th of April, so that's a very good booking. And then that's the weekend, but then we had a booking from the 29th of April till the 30th. It's like the weekend, so it's 100% occupied. When they check out, and
you have the cleaner go in and then they check back in.
The cleaner goes in the morning, spends 2 or 3 hours, and then that same day, we have other guests checking in for the weekend.
So really, in theory, you guys only need a 50% occupancy rate because like if you're in for £2,000, 15 for rent, 5 for your bills and your costs and stuff. If you're doing £6,000 roughly on a 100% occupancy, 50% is £3,000. You're making a grand profit of 50% occupancy rate, which is still brilliant. But if you can get that 100%, man, you guys are laughing. Fabulous.
This is even at our prime nightly rates because the garden is accessible, but it's not in the best of states.
Okay.
But that's because come summer we're looking to completely spend another £6-7 on that.
Remorning over.
And we're gonna put artificial grass halfway, 3/4 decking 1/4, and then we're gonna put a hot tub out there, lights, and we're gonna really do it up. So we're gonna maybe even double on nightly ratings.
Brilliant. That sounds really, really good. And what kind of term did you lock down the deal for?
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Fabulous. So you guys need to milk this basically until the cows come home and try and find some more. What made you want to go to the coast?
Yeah, one, we're enjoying it, but 2 is also like
Makes sense. Business, and
it also can come up. It also
was it land on your lap type thing by an accident? Yeah, and you thought, you know what, we want our first deal. We've been sourcing it all this time. We've got the cash flow. Let's take the punt.
In a space where we were looking as well, and then it got sent to us, and we were like, it was in a state, this house.
Yeah.
We had to spend a good.
So isn't this your first project as well?
was our first refit.
First refit.
It's a good learning curve. But now, like, we just want because we know what we do. We just want turnkeys now. Now we could do it with icebergs. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled, but we don't tend to get a lot by the coast. That's the problem.
No, anywhere by the coast. Yeah.
All right. So your business model isn't by the coast. It's you could take them on anywhere. And what kind of size do you look for?
Like 1 bed, studios.
I said bed. Say anything. Yeah. Trying to bring the smaller stuff down. Because we do get a lot of inquiries for just 2 people, 3 people.
And we have to decline, yeah.
Because they don't want a 4-bed, 2 reception house. So I could comfortably see like 9 or 10 people.
Well, we've got one in Fulham and one in Grove Park. So if you've got any guests that are looking, let us know. We'll stick them in there. If we get any bookings for larger ones by the coast, we'll send you our price. Happy days. We're all eating. So, yeah. No, guys, look, it's been a pleasure to have you both on. I think we've got through a lot. And I could just say thank you very much. Jake, Chris, thank you very much for coming down. We did try and do this before, the audience don't know, but we actually filmed one, I think, like 7 or 8 months ago, maybe even a year ago now. In your office when you first opened, but unfortunately...
2021.
There we go, so it's been a year, but unfortunately our videographer that we did have, sort of, things went pear-shaped, let's say. So we've got 12 videos out in the abyss. So we're starting from scratch again, hence why the podcast has been delayed. But guys, thank you very much for signing in to watch, and thank you very much for watching and staying tuned. Don't forget to like, leave us a comment, subscribe to the channel so you can keep posted on the more guests that we have. And thank you to the boys at Smart Choice Investments for coming down and telling us the sourcing way, the smart choice way. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.